So if you aren't familiar with my work, I'm a multi-passionate creative, a content creator, model, an activist, and founder of an all-women's intersectional hiking group here in Los Angeles called Hike Clerb. To me, living consciously for the planet means to live in accordance with all other living things and knowing that we each affect one another, and so it is our responsibility to do what we can do to make sure that the planet is habitable for not only us but for all the other creatures who also reside in it. The way that I even have come to this notion in large part is because of my relationship with nature. When you're out there, when you're camping, when you're visiting these beautiful places and you're feeling the energy and the effects of these places, it really brings you to your own place in this collective, and knowing that you have this inherent, innate responsibility to not only take care of it for yourself and for future generations. And it is just so important to support brands and businesses who are trying to do the work and providing sort of solutions to, I guess, what would be considered messier practices in this industry specifically. So some of the practice that I incorporate into my life to live a more sustainable life is, one, just a more green diet, emphasis on a plant-based diet, because my footprint from a consumption level of just opting to eat more fruits and vegetables rather than eating dairy and other animal products is going to be much less, because it takes less resources in order to cultivate those things. Trying to focus on eating less and less animal products is actually going to help benefit our planet in the long run. Carrying around little kits that have reusable forks and knives, and just having that on you so that you don't have to grab that plastic fork from the restaurant or the to-go box, whatever it is, and sort of opting to just use your own silverware instead of having to use a single-use plastic fork that will end up in the trash and in the landfill and possibly on a beach. Another big thing for me is just buying used clothing instead of creating new things. Using things that already exist or buying things that already exist is something that I've definitely been incorporating in more, and with sites like Depop and Poshmark and things like that, it's become way easier. One of my biggest practices is always using a reusable water bottle, not buying plastic water bottles. I opt for like a water service that uses glass bottles so that I'm not contributing to single-use plastic use. And as far as tips go, I would say just do what you can with what you have. If maybe you can only really focus on minimizing single-use plastics from the perspective of carrying around your own little kit, start there. If it's educating yourself on sustainability practices and just reading more and really immersing yourself from that standpoint, do that. If it's changing your diet or opting for like a meatless Monday, do that. I think there are just so many different ways that you can kind of attack it, and as long as you're committing to sort of one part of this, in the end it's going to compound into this bigger sort of effect. And another huge thing is just the advocacy work and the activism behind it. You could spend your time just urging these big business, these politicians to adopt practices that will help us in the long run as far as changing processes and procedures that are contributing to the mass pollution of our planet. And that could be the work that you do. There's so many different ways. One shoe does not fit all, and I think everyone has their role to play, and it's just about finding what your role is in this and sticking to that and helping educate others and inspire others to do something and to take action about it. Here we have our little Protect the Planet refillable minis kit. It's made out of plastic water bottles and organic cotton, and it's perfect for traveling. Everything comes in these glass bottles, and it's easy to just refill them with your full-size products. Just put them in here, and you always have a little travel-size container ready to go that you don't have to throw away, and you can keep on using. For me, less is always more, and when I'm looking at new products or new skincare brands, I'm always thinking like, okay, are they using vegan ingredients? Are they, not testing on animals? What does their packaging look like? Is this actually sustainable? And obviously Youth to the People checks off all of those boxes and actually makes effective skincare that I can see a noticeable result from. I have been using the products steadily now for a couple of years at this point. I just love the efficacy, and knowing that this superfood cleanser, for instance, is going to contain kale, spinach, green tea, things that I know have a proven effect on your skin. It's a no-brainer for me when it comes to choosing Youth to the People for my skincare staples.